Well, welcome everyone. Super nice to see you all here. I'm Alec, co-founder of Valist. This is Zach, our CTO. And yeah, we're here to learn about web3 native software distribution. And let's get right into it. So what is web3 native software distribution? Well, basically, a lot of elements that you already know, like publishing, fetching, and secure updates from existing Web2 systems like GitHub or other auto-update systems you've used before. But also now we can imagine new cool use cases like DAOs coordinating software together. So if you imagine a DAO publishing a new version of an Ethereum client like Geth, that's what you could do with Web3 native software distribution. And then if you're monetizing apps or games for any type of assets, we have software licensed NFTs in our system that you can use as a form of DRM to token gate your application in, again, a Web3 native way and native crypto payments. So why do we need Web3 software distribution? So, well, right here, we're still publishing everything on Web2 platforms. So we have some really amazing protocols here. Even Ethereum's Geth is built and published on Microsoft Azure Blob Store. Polygon Boar uses GitHub releases, which is also ultimately Microsoft servers. We rely heavily on Docker Hub for managing infrastructure, especially things like graph nodes. But it also goes down all the way to the end user, from the emerging Web3 gaming stuff, mobile wallets that you download from centralized app stores, you name it. Pretty much everything is still being published over Web2. So we're putting massive amounts of energy into decentralization just to re-centralize it at the distribution level. So we got to change that. And the issues with this include lots of the things you're already familiar with, but risk of compromise, censorship risk, availability risk. And then if you're using payment infrastructure, all this stuff right now is centralized to Apple, Google, Meta, all of these companies that you have to ask permission for, and they take 30 to 50+% of your take rate. So these centralized payment infrastructures, we got to get away from them, and then they take a high take rate anyway. So it's not very regenerative. And what can we do now that we're in Web3? So first, it looks kind of familiar. We have to start with porting over all the common features from things like GitHub and Steam and Versal and those other types of platforms. And that includes the ability to version, publish, fetch, and then securely update your artifacts and having like auto update systems, as well as the ability to manage team level and project level access control so that you can actually have an organization account and then separate projects underneath that have separate access control. But Valist is a set of tools that coordinate all these Web3 protocols together to make publishing in Web3 easy. And then once we're ported over, no reliance on a single entity for distribution, not even Valist. All we're doing is pulling together all these protocols together. So there's no centralized thing. Valist.io is just a gateway. You can monetize your software directly now with NFTs. So again, no need to ask Apple or Google or anyone for permission, or even to have a bank account for that matter. You could just create a wallet, publish your software, set a price, and you're good to go. And then, of course, DAOs can coordinate software releases. So, these giant softwares that we all rely on, we can actually decentralize the publishing process for that a little bit more. And then we also have the ability to create super awesome auto-update systems powered by these smart contracts and IPFS. And the protocol fees can actually provide public goods funding. So revenue generated by software licensed NFTs can actually be pointed at things like Radical Trips or Gitcoin grants. And so there's this connection between the monetized software and the donation-based drip mechanisms that we have now. And so how does it work? Well, there's lots of different options. We make it pretty easy, but the architecture essentially is such as you publish all the software on IPFS. Everything gets archived on a Filecoin for long-term storage, and then we use Polygon and other EVM chains to checkpoint and handle all the access control and versioning. And then from there, the Valist client and SDKs, everything like that, is aware of all the latest releases. So you can say, hey, I want the latest version of Ethereum/Geth/1.0.0 or something like that. And then how do we use it? Well, we have a web front end, CLI, a GitHub action for if you're already doing GitHub releases or if you're already doing your own system there. It's just copy and paste the workflow at the end to add it to your publishing step. And then we have TypeScript and Go SDKs for all the developers that want to kind of dive deeper into the nitty-gritty there. And then so this is what the web app publishing page looks like. It's pretty simple. It's just account, project, the version, and then you could drag and drop your assets from there. So if you're a game developer, might be the move for you to drag and drop your Unity build, or drag and drop your static web app over into here and call it a day, or a binary, whatever you want. Our CLI allows you to easily create and publish releases as well. And so here we have Valist Publish, the organization account, Acme Co. And then the project is called Go Binary. And then the version publishing here is 1.0.0. And then I'm just publishing the dist folder that I built. So if you're publishing and building stuff, you could just point it there. And you could also configure multi-platform releases. So if you're building for both Mac, Windows, and Linux, the CLI lets you actually configure which binaries go to which platform. And the Valist system will know how to account for that. And then, like I said, we have a GitHub action. So if you're already doing releases, this is a super simple example where basically it's just tracking the repository, Go IPFS, and then anytime a release is made, it just takes that release and publishes it under Valist. So it's a super easy way to get started there if you already have an existing workflow, and then you can transition more into the Web3 native workflows. And then again, SDK, super easy. All you need is a wallet. And then you could plug in IPFS nodes, your own RPC stuff, or you can use the default Valist.io infrastructure. And then you could find it at Valist.io. The docs are pretty detailed. They go over the whole system as well as the different nuances. And then our Discord is valist.io/discord. We're always super excited to help. And we have teammates from around the world, so chances are someone's going to be awake. But yeah, and then our GitHub is valist.io, or valist-io, and you can find all the cool things there. And then I guess our Twitter is valist_io, if you want to check that out. We're posting lots of updates there. And then as far as the prize pool, for anyone that's publishing on the platform, you automatically get qualified to the prize pool, and then we're selecting 5 other apps that are doing a little more novel use cases or some other cool things that we're going to pick out of that group as well. So pretty simple. All you have to do is publish and qualify the pool. And then, yeah, so super excited. I'm going to pass it over to Zach. He's going to go over the system and how it works, and we'll go from there. But thanks again, and best of luck at this hackathon. Really amazing stuff. And yeah, we're here to help. Zach?
Yo, 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 what's poppin'? Cool, so I'm just going to take you guys through a quick demo here. So you can check out the front-end web app on app.valist.io. Sorry, just bear with me here, a bit of a slow internet going on here. Okay, cool. So you've connected your wallet. You're all good to go. You'll see your dashboard like this. It's kind of just like a Versal GitHub-esque dashboard. And you'll see we have our projects here. We have some activity of all the transactions that have taken place. We can audit all of those different transaction hashes, see those on our block explorer. Shout out to Polygon. Our app.valist.io is currently on Polygon. But we also support any EVM-based chain, so check out the contract, check it all out. So the first thing that we are going to want to do is to create an account. So if we go to the account creation page, we have a couple options here. So the first thing that we can do is that we can upload an account image. So I usually use this one. This is my crypto coven. And then we can set our username. So just like kind of any other distribution system, you know, or package management system like NPM, Docker, all of these different things, you need a namespace. So in the case of Valist, this is an immutable namespace. And that's, again, just to kind of prevent any kind of like changing or supply chain attacks type of stuff there. So here I'm just going to go with, let's just go with Metaverse co. And I'll keep that all lowercase. And so then the display name is not immutable. This, you can change it to anything that you want, and it's kind of just like a display name on Twitter or anything else. So I could say the Metaverse Company. Cool. And then we can put in a website there. We can say like hello.world or something like that. And then you know, just a quick description. So we make metaverse stuff. Cool, so that's it for the basic info there. Then each account on Valist can also function as a team. So again, it's just like a GitHub organization or like a Versal team or anything kind of like that. So normally this is where you would take your list of addresses and you would paste them in here. I'm just going to take my local MetaMask address and create that. Oh. Interesting there. Okay. Some weird stuff going on here. This might be an internet thing, sorry. There we go. Okay, so you'll see that here it is prompting me. So we're a big fan of open source. We're a big fan of public goods. So everything on Valist is free by default. It's all meta transactions. So all I have to do here is just give it a quick signature with some basic info here. And I can create my account. And so while that's pending, I can check that out, you know, on the Block Explorer, make sure everything's A-okay there. And you'll see everything's good. So now I got redirected to create my first project. So I'm just going to select Metaverse Co. As my account. And now I can create, you know, any kind of project that I want. And again, you can kind of think of this higher level namespace just as like, you know, you have your local GitHub account, and then you can publish, you know, your GitHub pages or anything like that under your default GitHub namespace. And you can have any number of kind of like federated namespaces under that root namespace. So for me, I'm just going to say, let's just call it Metaverse. Thanks. Metaverse. And then, again, we can just do another display name. So the Metaverse game. Something like that. Website, this is, again, if you're submitting to the ETH Global Hackathon, you might want to put your website in there or your GitHub or something like that. Oh. Sorry, I'm not the best speller here. So I'm just going to put hello.world in there too. So now, so we have a full discovery page, a lot like a Steam-esque marketplace, because a big thing is not just open source software, but you know, developers have to eat too. So, you know, there's a lot of paid software on Valist and paid native crypto DRM games. In this case, let's say that we'll do like an installable game, and then we can set that with some tags here. We can say game application. And so once we do that, now we have a couple description fields that we can add that will show up on our Valist profile and throughout the marketplace when people search for our game. So I'm just going to say a super cool metaverse game. And then I just have some example markdown here that I'm going to paste in there. And so we have our metaverse game. Join thousands of players online for the next revolution of web3 gaming. Experience distant lands and discover untold treasures in the metaverse. Free to play, no pay to win. Okay, and so then also with, so we have the idea of account level access control, but then there is also the idea of project level access control. So we might have some team admins that are managing our organization. We want them to be able to add other people through this kind of like role-based access control system. But then we might just have like verifiers or publishers on the development side where you're a developer, you have your development key, and you want to be able to verify a build. So this is where I would then paste my development key. And I'm just going to copy that from MetaMask again. Cool. So now all the fun stuff. When you're on a marketplace and you're on a game, you know, games need trailers, games need a lot of good stuff, a lot of screenshots, interactive content. Oh. So for this, I'm just going to pick my main promo image there. It's of, you know, of Lost Lands, Forgotten Kingdom. And then I'm going to add a couple screenshots for my game. So here are my game characters. Here's my cool metaverse girl in the metaverse with her metaverse glasses. And then that's it. All I need to do is create my project. And again, if you're doing like a live stream or a presentation of your own or anything like that, you can paste in a YouTube link here. Thanks. You can add all kinds of other content and videos, and it'll all go right to IPFS. Hey, so there we go. Now we are back on the dashboard here, and I am just going to select my new account, Metaverse Co. And so you'll see my new project, Metaverse, pops up, a super cool Metaverse game. And if I click that, I am greeted by this beautiful Valist profile. And now this is where I will be able to manage my versions, any activities, any other members, or maybe like people that are in my DAO that are distributing software that want to collaboratively sign off on releases and distribute their software together with me. But then, yeah, all of my nice little screenshots, all of my nice little markdown right in there, all ready to go. And so then we're also tracking, you know, all of these downloads through like IPFS gateways. So there's a lot of really cool metrics that you can see to track like how many users are actually pulling my files from these decentralized networks and playing my game or running my app. Cool. So let's publish. So I'm just going to do version 0.0.1. Usually I just use semver for any of, you know, semantic versioning. And then we can do a basic description. So I'm just going to say initial release. Then I'm going to take my Hello World Go binary, that is my metaverse game. And then it's just as easy as publish release. Sign one more signature right there. And just like that, we have published our first release. So here is our release from the IPFS gateway. Anybody can now take our Valist client, do a Valist install on this game natively, and then stay tuned because our game client with our built-in wallet support, Sapphire, will also be dropping very soon. So again, just to take another look at this, this is the basic settings page. It's pretty much the same as the account creation page, but there's a few additional settings that we have here now. So a huge part of Valist, again, is that not just the distribution, but also the monetization of software. So as part of that, we're Web3 native, so we need to have Web3 native DRM for our software. So each project on Valist has a built-in project ID that I can activate and embed within pretty much any SDK. So whether it's like ChainSafe Gaming or Moralis or any of those, I can take those and check a digital signature against somebody's token balance to then token gate my application. And there's different levels of security that you can implement there with that kind of DRM, but this at least gives developers the primitives that they need to monetize their software in a Web3 native way. And this is really powerful because when someone goes to distribute software on somewhere like Steam, you might already have paired with a game publisher. They're taking 10, 15%. Then you go to put your software on Steam itself, they're taking 30%. Apple is taking 30%. Google is taking 25%. Gumroad is taking 15%. Itch is taking like 20%. With Valist, it's 2.5%, and then we take all of those funds, they go to our community treasury, and then we cycle that money back into open source projects. So what we can do here, again, we're on Polygon, so everything's in Matic. We can set a default price, we can set a limit, and we can set a royalty percent so that if anybody transfers one of these game licenses to somebody else, there is a royalty on that as well. So then you're also able to customize your royalty address and all of these aspects to monetize your piece of token-gated software natively on the chain. Cool. Do you want to hop back in?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up with just one more example. So if you are a Go developer or you're building some kind of CLI and you prefer to do more of like a CLI publish, then we have, also check out this example projects repo for sure. We have a bunch of different ways that you can publish different types of software here. So we have a Go project, a multi-platform Go, a Rust, a Solidity project as well. So there's definitely different examples there. But just to show you what the CLI is capable of, we're actually in this example repo right now with the CLI publish multi-platform project. And the command can work both ways. So if we have one binary, for instance, this one is a single Go binary here, that when we build it, it's just one hello world. To do that, it's literally just Valist publish, and then the version, and then the folder. I actually need to make that folder. But then there we go. So then if I run the make publish, that'll actually do this, this build. It'll select the account I want to assign and send this from, and you can see the meta transactions. Oh, I need to bump it one more version. So you can see there, it knows when an existing release has been used, and I guess I did this a couple more times than I realized. Let me just go to 5. But yeah, basically, it'll upload the binary, publish the release, and it'll do all the meta transaction stuff, so you could actually see all the like open gas station network stuff that's happening in the background, all the magic that we make your lives easier with. But basically, yeah, right there, it's confirming that transaction, and then it just published that Go binary. It shows you the link to go and fetch it, and then boom, there's my binary right there. And then with the SDKs, you can also do the same thing and fetch it at this namespace. And then similar for the multi-platform. Do you want to say something? Oh, okay, sorry. For the multi-platform, it's the same thing, only now we can additionally describe other releases. So you saw I just uploaded the dist folder and just called it a day. But with this, I can actually specify in the valist.yaml the account I'm publishing to, the project, the version, and then let's bump this up to like 8 just in case. The files the same way. And then we have an install field here where you can actually describe the name of the binary and then the platforms that you're targeting with this. And then we use the standard, the Go standard combinations here. So you can basically say, hey, if I'm building for a Mac on a regular AMD 64, this is the binary I'm publishing. If I'm building on Linux or Windows, these are the binaries. And then I just have my build scripts here tell Go to build multiple versions of this. So essentially, I have in this folder a bunch of different versions that work on different platforms. And in this Valist YAML, I'm describing those versions and which platforms. And then since the Valist YAML is already set up, I could just run a Valist publish. It'll parse everything and know I didn't hit save on that. And then it will publish each of the binaries as well as some additional metadata that lets the rest of the system know about the different platforms. So I'll jump to this in a second as soon as it confirms. And oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's go to the Acme Co. Site here, and then go to this multi-platform project on the website, and then the launch will take you directly into the folder. But then if you actually go to the higher level metadata here, you will see this is kind of the JSON we use to describe that install stuff. So basically, all this metadata is just to tell the front end how to actually interact with the project. And so yeah, it supports pretty much any type of software. And there's all kinds of different ways to publish depending on your preferences and your stack. And like I said, anyone that publishes gets qualified to our prize pool. And then we're picking 5 finalists out of that group as well. But anyone who publishes is going to qualify no matter what. So that's going to be pretty easy. And then, yeah, we're always here. Definitely come find us if you need any help. Come join our Discord. We're super stoked to have you there. And yeah.
Check out the GitHub action.
For sure. Well, amazing stuff, everyone. I guess we'll just take a couple questions if we have any, and then, yeah. Sweet. Yes, so we actually, this project here, so with the token gating, it's actually pretty interesting because this is a weekend hackathon. We're very curious to see what comes out of that. But this Acme Co. has an example for a token-gated Unity game that basically, if I launch it, hopefully the internet will play nicely with us. But we have this example here. And in the docs, we have how to actually set this up. So, and a separate video and a separate walkthrough as well. And then for Unity apps, we also have an example script here. So if you go to this page on the docs, token gating your software, you'll see the general flow and then some links to examples. And then this one is the Unity example we put together for the signatures. And then basically the way it works is you just, oh, this is the wrong one, actually. But I think it's this one. So yeah, this is just the Unity game. And then you connect the wallet, and it'll do the balance check from there. And then, yeah, this is going to be a little interesting. But I have it firing off in the console right here that 1 in success means that the balance is there. So yeah, it's definitely possible to token gate a Unity game or any type of app. And yeah, looking forward to that. Sweet. Cool. Thanks, everyone.